How you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. I thought I'd take a look at the original Ghost Rider comic. So here we are. This is Ghost Rider #1. This is if you see on my, it says 1966, but that's wrong. It's 1967. This is Dick Ayers doing the artwork. And this is another fantastic far out first from Mighty Marvel, the origin of the Ghost Rider. I told you that the original Ghost Rider was a cowboy, so I forgot I even had this comic. So yesterday when I saw Ghost, I kept on looking through the box and I found Ghost Rider, so I was like, yeah, I gotta do this. But first, let's check out the treasure chest of fun. We've seen this ad a million times, and let's see if I'm right about the date. The Ghost Rider is published by magazine 19 what year? 1966. Oh, copyright 1966, but published February 1967. So, okay, so they copyrighted the name Ghost Rider at 19. So here's the splash page. Let's check this out. Edited by Stan Lee, written by Gary Friedrich. He also created the classic motorcycle Ghost Rider. So both of them are created by Gary Friedrich and written by Roy Thomas, plotted and drawn by Dick Ayers, inked by Vince Colletta. As I told you, that's one of Jack Kirby's. It's one of my favorite Jack Kirby inkers, lettered by J. Verpoorten. Okay, so this is the Lawless West. Looks like there's trouble, not their valley, and the Indians attacking. See, here we have Indians attacking, but we'll come back to note something about those Indians. And Carter Slade, he's fighting off the Indians, and he gets thrown off the horse and pretty much shot and left for dead. If only I could reach my gun. And he throws a rock. He's going down fighting. So here we go. Just like I said, Vince Colletta was one of Jack Kirby's longtime artists, and Dick Ayers is another classic Marvel artist. So together they, if you ask me, it's like old school Marvel house style. Looks good. I like it. And Dick Ayers did a lot of Western stuff. Well, those Western comics were pretty popular then, so how could he have not? So this kid finds Carter Slade, and then Indians save him. Different group of friendly Indians, and he was going down there to teach school. So now Flaming Star is the name of this medicine man, and they save him and pray and do their Indian magic and save him. And now it's prophesized that he is to be the helpful white guy. Polaris nuclear sub. This was a cardboard piece of crap for $7. It was just, didn't even look like that. It was all squared. It was like a rectangular box with this painted on the side. With some grit. And here's telling them, a meteor crashed over here. Go over there and gather up some of that. Basically, it's like radioactive phosphorescent dust. So he's like, those weren't Indians that attacked. Those were white men dressed up as Indians, and they're trying to scare off everybody so they can claim the land, like basic cattle rustling or ranch rustling. I don't know what it's called, but they're trying to scare off everybody so that they could steal their land. Classic Scooby-Doo. So here's Magnificent. What's the name of the horse? I think there was a name of the horse. All right, nobody could touch him, so he's destined to find the white horse, and he's the chosen one. I'll call you Banshee, a fitting name for a ghost horse. So that's Banshee. That's going to be his sweet ride. And now Carter Slade is getting familiar with Banshee, living with the Indians, and he finds that meteor dust that they were talking about. So it causes everything to glow. So this gives him an idea. So he makes this costume out of the glowing meteor dust. So one side of the cape is coated with the glowing dust, and one side is not. So he uses the dark side. He could cover it up so he looks like pieces of his body are disappearing. So he's acting like a ghost. So keep in mind, this Ghost Rider doesn't really have any supernatural abilities. It's just trickery. So it's like classic Scooby-Doo. So one side of the cape is jet black, and the other side is glowing phosphorescent. So by carefully wrapping it around him, he could appear as if he's appearing and disappearing. So he's going to use that to scare everybody. Second chance for high school dropouts to get your diploma. So here's scheming. We find out that they dress up like Indians all the time and go out and swindle people, scalping swindlers. So they're going out, scaring people and fighting people off. So the white people think it's the Indians and go out and attack the Indians. Chaos ensues and they steal up all the land. Here's the beautiful girl who's a school already a school teacher. Here comes Carter Slade to town. What's going on? And he's asking questions, and he acts like a timid school teacher. What a coward you are, because nobody could know that he's the going to be the Ghost Rider at night. So these guys dressed up in the Indians, and they're capturing people and scaring them, and at night they're going to come in, do their routine again and steal people's ranch, when all of a sudden a floating head leaving, and he knows everybody's information because he was there as Carter Slade asking questions. I am from the spirit world and I shall depend. And they're shooting at him, but he's not really there because, his body's over here and the cloak is covering up. So he's the Ghost Rider. Whoa, horror. Jumping down and scaring him. You think a glowing guy would be an easier target. So that foot came out of nowhere. Bonk. So when he's wrapped up in the underside of the cloak, he could appear as if he's invisible. So he's basically scaring the crap out of them and then chasing them off and firing at them, and they're missing because he's not really where he's saying he is. Whatever. And here he is. I can't be. I could see right through you. And then whoosh, I weary of this game. First I'll rid you of this weapons and then feel the matchless might of the Ghost Rider. Do you still find it difficult to believe in the supernatural, Mr. Bartholomew? It is written, those who live by violence shall die by violence. Do you wish to perish, Jason Bartholomew? No, I'll tell you everything. So he tells him, his whole plan, gives up everything. And, the sweet school teacher is like, I'm going to get the marshal. Let the homesteaders have their land. We'll never want to see this valley again. So they leave. The Bartholomew gang leaves. The homesteaders get everything. And he's just like, oh, that's wonderful. What happened? How the stranger managed it? And he goes, sorry, Carter. Miss Natalie said somebody or something scared the living daylights out of those varmints and they surrendered. So everybody lives happily ever after. And next issue, the transfer. So this is only half the issue. So that's the origin of the Ghost Rider. Same guy who made the classic skull and motorcycle Ghost Rider. But he's not supernatural. And they later changed his name to Phantom Rider. I don't know why. He could have been Ghost Rider. Because they established that there already was like other Ghost Riders throughout history. So why not just say that he was one of the Ghost Riders? But, I guess it's because he didn't have supernatural abilities or whatever, so they couldn't really tie him into the actual Ghost Rider. All right, and this is a reprint of Kid Cult Outlaw from 1962, printed courtesy Leading Magazine Corp. All right, so I guess they had to deal with other publishers, so even though it was 1962, that would make it like a timely magazine. So I guess they had to make deals. But this is I don't really care because I wanted to show the Ghost Rider. But I am showing you that there was half the comic was Ghost Rider and half the comic was a reprint of Kid Cult. But westerns were really popular. And just like TV and movies, the westerns got Two Gun Kid is still being printed at this point. And just like TV and movies, the western kind of faded away. So let's see what's on sale at the same time. Fantastic Four 60, Spider-Man 46, Avengers, X-Men 29, Daredevil 25, Thor 137, Strange Tales. So Strange Tales. This is the kid. It's Fury versus the savage strength of Hydra's deadly dreadnought, and the poor Doctor Strange going to do when Umar finally kills. So remember I told you that Strange Tales was split. And then Tales of Suspense was Iron Man and Captain America. Astonishing Tales was the Submariner and the Hulk. And then Sergeant Fury. Marvel Collector's Item Classics. This was a reprint title. Fantasy Masterpiece was another reprint title. And Marvel Tales was a third reprint title. So at this point, Marvel was hindered by a publication deal that they could only limit what they were limited in what they could publish. So here's U.S. government supplies. That's pretty cool. And Aurora Hobby Kits. Oh, cool models. Never had these. These are a little bit before my time. So, like I said, the same writer did this comic and later did the classic Ghost Rider comic with the skull and the motorcycle. So I guess he just liked the name Ghost Rider. Why not? It is a pretty freaking cool name, so can't blame him for that. All right, nothing really to report other than I just wanted to show that the original Ghost Rider comic and remind you that Western comics were a really big deal back then. A couple of years before this, there was romance, there was Western comics, the superhero comics, science fiction comics. It is kind of bizarre that that superheroes dominated this entire art form, but kind of think about it, it's like comic books are the you can do westerns on TV, you could do romance on TV, but up until just, I would say, in the past 5 years, you couldn't properly do superheroes on TV and movies. So comic books are the ideal medium for superheroes. Even science fiction. I mean, look at Star Wars. That came out in 1977. But superheroes, there's something about, I guess special effects had to catch up with the imagination of these wonderful creators. So there you go. I waxed a little bit philosophical, but who cares, right? It's all fun. So that's the classic Ghost. This is the original Ghost Rider. I'm going to say the classic Ghost Rider is the skull and motorcycle one. But this is a lot of fun too. I enjoyed this. This only lasted like 8 or 9 issues. It was no big deal. And then in 1972 they brought out. So this was 1967, and then what's that? 5 years later they debuted the other Ghost Rider. So hope you enjoyed that little fun, obscure part of Marvel history. Thanks a lot. Appreciate your time, and please like the videos. Please subscribe to the videos. See you around. Bye-bye.